Hello, guys. Welcome back to Mogul Movies. This is episode 4. I'm Devin, and I'm here with what's your names again?
Oh my god.
Dude, come on. We've been like recording podcasts for like the last I don't know how long.
I
How do
hate
you know
you.
my name?
Anyway, that's the movie we're going to be reviewing today. The amazing movie Your Name. The yeah, the movie is about it is a good movie. The movie's about these two high school students named Taki and Mitsuha, and they basically like switch bodies and like live out each other's lives with their friends. And they kind of like awaken something inside of them, I guess. And they have like character development because of it.
Okay, don't say it that way. Don't say it that way.
I'm sorry.
I had to recover from that your name line that you just dropped on me. Sorry, I just had to take a couple seconds there.
Dude, it was such a good hook.
My recovery period was so long. But jokes aside, this movie is really fantastic. There's a lot of messages here, and just like overall, really nice.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into more about the movie, I think we should go about some of the themes of the movie, mostly about the mental health aspects of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of tension, I guess, between Mitsuha and her dad throughout the movie.
Yeah, her dad's like the mayor. I want to know.
So, for more context, Mitsuha is a girl who lives in like the outskirts, or well, I guess less developed side of Tokyo. They're very traditional there. She's a shrine maiden, which just speaks of how like far they've gone in terms of modernity. Because it's not something you usually see nowadays, something like so traditional like that. But it's like a very big deal where she is. And it's like a thing of honor, but it's not really well respected anymore, which is why she gets like disrespected by her classmates, and it's like the main source of her like insecurity throughout the movie.
She just kind of gets picked on for it.
Well, she does get picked on. Yeah, it's not heavy bullying. Like she's not an outcast, but it's like something she gets made fun of commonly.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't help that her dad is kind of annoying. And her dad didn't really get a character arc or anything. He had to like stay that way, didn't he?
Yeah, I did not like her dad. He had like 2 character traits, and one of them was just being a terrible person.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I personally don't agree much with that, but you could really see how her dad's actions truly affected her and how insecure she became because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
her dad left her when she was like little.
Well, that wasn't.
He didn't really leave. He's in the same town. He just like stopped hanging out with them.
Yeah, he stopped being part of their whole traditional like shrine setup that they have going. Yeah, it's because of relations with her. Yeah, the mother dying due to a sickness after they were born.
And he was like, "I'm not in love with the shrine. I'm in love with my wife, and she's not here anymore."
Hey, he just dipped on his own kid. Come on.
Which is just not cool.
Not very cool.
You can see how it poses a lot of problems for their family, because after their mom dies and their dad leaves, it's only their grandma that's left to take care of them, and you can see how that has effect on their family.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like disrespect between the dad, who's still present in the town, just not present in the family, and everyone else, like her little sister, the grandma, and herself too.
Yeah, the father is the mayor, which plays a part later in the story. But I think there's also another aspect of just like the identity part, because they kind of wish they were like switched places. Like the girl wishes she was born in Tokyo, Japan, and not in the rinky-dink rural village that she is in. And I guess the guy, I want to say he wants to be in a rural town.
Yeah, it's never actually shown in the movie that he does want to be in a rural town, but it's implied because of the switch that they go through.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like like you said, it's implied because she likes the rural, and they're kind of like mirrors of each other, being girl boy, and like the.
I think I think you can just really like bring that back to the fact that I think he just wanted to get away from the city life and wanted to experience how beautiful the world around him is. Just like when he
Yeah,
started tearing up when he was um when he
viewing that
switched
landscape.
bodies, yeah, and he viewed
Mm.
the beautiful landscape of Itamori, and that like really impacted him.
Yeah, you can see like when they switch bodies and we go to the perspective of the guy that he just like had a lot of to take care of because his dad works a part-time job. It doesn't seem to care for him much. He has really long hours at the place he works at, which is just like brutal to him because it's a customer service job. He works at a restaurant as a
Hmm.
server, and it's implied through his coworkers that he explodes and doesn't have a good time there because the customers are rude because it's a high-class restaurant.
Yeah, there was one scene after the girl switched bodies where this guy placed a toothpick, obviously not originally in the food,
Mm-hmm.
and he tried to get mad, and one of the coworkers had to step in because she thought like the dude who the girl was who Mitsuhara was taking control of Taki. Hold on, I gotta get my thoughts together. And she assumed that he was gonna explode because that's how I guess Taki usually is. That's why he had the like little patch on him.
Mm-hmm. That's how
That's
he
what it was
got
implied.
injured.
Yeah. And so she had to step in. She had to give him a refund. Yeah, he doesn't. The job he works in is not that great. I mean, like you said, he was trying to get away from the city life. That's what implied anyway.
Mm. Yeah, the main part of the first around 30 to 45 minutes of the movie is the switches between Mitsuha and Taki and how they enjoy living each other's lives, like set boundaries and start helping each other out. Like we talked about how a lot of how Mitsuha helped Taki, but it also goes the other way around because when
Mm-hmm.
Taki switches with Mitsuha and he starts living in her body, she starts getting some respect from her friends around her because he doesn't stand for the disrespect that they
Yeah,
show.
he doesn't take that. Like one of the scenes where they were in the painting, they're like she was in her body. He was like, "They're talking about me, aren't they?" And her friend was like, "Yeah." And he kicked down like the desk and was like, "Hell no."
Yeah, he did not stand for the disrespect that they gave her, and it just started making this dynamic where sure they didn't like another person invading their bodies at times they couldn't control, but they made the best of it, and then it started improving their lives in ways that they couldn't do by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, overall that movie was great, man. Like I was expecting more of like more. I don't know how you say it, but I was just expecting more,
Yeah,
right?
you're not. You're not.
other than
You're not
other
really an
than that,
anime watcher, aren't you?
Yeah,
no, not
Manuel is
really.
not an avid anime watcher. He's not cultured like Devin and I.
Of course, yeah,
Not quite the
But
same way.
of
so
course.
for someone like him who doesn't like usually watch a lot of anime to say like it's a great movie, I think that says something.
That does speak volumes about how good it is. Just like the mental health aspects and like just deep plot aside, the movie is just fantastic. Like it's just like a nice storyline and like generally beautiful.
I want to talk about the visuals. Oh my god, the visuals were absolutely fantastic in that movie.
Yes, they
I
were
forgot. I
unbelievably
don't.
so.
I forgot who the lead director was, but I think it was like Makoto
Mm.
something.
It's
I
just
don't
the
remember.
studio that was behind Your Name clearly put just like so much effort and passion into it because like all of the visuals in like every big moment always hit. They always delivered.
It hit
There,
so hard.
there wasn't a time where they didn't hit, honestly.
Yeah, the visuals, the music, everything just came together. It was perfect like every time.
The music direction was also a big part that let
Most
me enjoy the
definitely.
movie a lot because sure having like eye candy in front of you lets you enjoy the movie, but a big part for me was when they set the atmosphere with a lot of the music that they put in, because with like the beautiful wide shots of the classic traditional like countryside of Itomori, then you have like the wide cityscape shots that you see in the Tokyo perspectives.
Hmm.
I just like the music complemented all of the art really well, and I think that added a lot to how good the movie was.
have we talked about like the main like I guess adversary of the movie? I'm losing my words.
Adversary,
Let's talk about adversary,
it's
but
like
like the comment. What's it called? What's the right word?
I guess obstacle is what you
Yeah,
want.
obstacle. Yeah, the comment.
The I forget what it's called
I
because
think it's just a comment. I don't think I
Yeah,
referred
it's
to
a
it by a
comment
specific
that
name.
broke into multiple pieces. Yeah.
it's like a celestial event that happens once every 1,000 years or so, which is like a really big deal. It's the main like obstacle, or like I guess you could call it the villain. It's like an antagonist. Yeah, it's like an antagonist.
And the antagonist.
It's like man versus nature type of thing.
It's a very like unexpected thing because in the first half hour of the movie, it's mostly just Mitsuha and Taki bickering and like living each other's lives. And the comet is a very like backseat. It's like put on the back burner for most of the movie.
Yeah, it's put on the back burner. They like show it. They reference it every now and then, just let you know it's there. But
It's
you kind of think it's gonna be like this thing. I remember when I first watched it, like when we watched it, I thought the comet was just gonna be like their final date, and it was like they're gonna meet up after they've done meeting each other, switching bodies and all that, and then the comet's gonna be like their romantic final place where they meet.
It was actually almost the reality of the movie, because so the side characters, there's some side characters like original love interests that they had in their lives before they started switching. So one of them is Okudera, which was originally Taki's crush before he started switching bodies with Mitsuha. Through the body switching, Mitsuha managed to get Taki a date with Okudera, which was...
He fumbled.
He did fumble, but not because he didn't have like... Not because of lack of ability, it's because at that point in the story, he already fell for Mitsuha. And he didn't have the same feelings for Okudera anymore.
Yeah, he did. It seems like he didn't even realize, because Okudera was like, "You have a crush on someone else, don't you? I know you liked me before, but now I feel like you're a different person. You don't like me."
He does vehemently deny it. Like,
yeah,
it's clear he didn't realize his own feelings, and it's the same for Mitsuha as well. Because after they switched back to the original bodies and Mitsuha secured a date with Okudera for Taki, she starts crying in the mirror, and she doesn't realize why. And it's like a big question that they have for each other, and they don't realize it all the way until the comet hits. And I thought that's like the comet's significance in the entire movie, which is like they realize they like each other and then they're gonna meet, which is what I thought was gonna happen.
It's kind of funny how the comet works, actually. The comet obviously destroys the town that Mitsuha was in, but it also brings like them together. It's kind of like, I think it's funny how that works.
Like,
it does bring them together, but not in the way that you'd expect. So instead of the comet being like the symbol of them realizing their love for each other, it's actually a plot device which shows that through their body switching, it's always assumed that they live in the same time frame as each other, but they didn't. Like, the movie reveals that the body swapping wasn't just through space, it was also through time.
That messed me up when the first time I watched it, bro.
That I did not know what was happening. It took me around like a good 10-20 minutes after it was revealed for me to realize that it was actually through time as well, not just space.
Yeah, it was like a 3-year difference. Like, they were traveling back 3 years in space and time to like each other's positions. Which, when it first, like, I guess it doesn't really make sense because they could have let the counters, because I guess it's kind of a plot hole, but it's not noticeable when you watch it. I guess that's just kind of an afterthought I had.
I don't know, man. It's just like the movie was made really well. The plot was so weird. Like, it definitely got me off guard, but I was not disappointed. I cannot lie.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I don't think if you showed someone like a picture or a trailer of the movie and the title, they would be able to guess what happens. Because I definitely was not. I was also coming and thinking it's going to be a standard like romance, like.
Well, it does
Just pretty
subvert it
visuals.
very well because the first
Yeah.
half hour is just like their natural rom-com with a supernatural twist to it.
Yeah, it's
So
just
it's
kind of
not
like.
something you'd expect.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if you guys caught on to this, but do you guys remember one of Mitsuha's friends? It's like the guy friend where
Oh,
he was
Tessie?
like, yeah, Tessie, where he was like super adamant on it being like some sort of supernatural event about everything that's going on, and he was looking kind of right. It was a supernatural event.
Well, the supernatural. Well, I guess yeah. No, you're actually right about that. So at the like very beginning of the movie, where they first switch bodies, it's not fully revealed that like Mitsuha and Taki like they weren't established characters in the story yet.
Mhm.
So it wasn't known who Mitsuha was switching with. It just was known that she was switching. So it's like hinted at where her friends are like, "You were acting weird yesterday," and she doesn't know what they're talking about. And that's when Tessie brings up like, "Oh, it's probably like a supernatural thing, right? Like it could only be." She doesn't remember. And then the girl, I actually forgot the girl's name.
Which one?
Uh,
Like Tessie's
Mitsuha's girlfriend or girlfriend, lady
girlfriend.
friend, yeah.
Did I miss something in the plot?
Yeah, it was side romance, you know.
Yeah.
Taki had a competitor going.
Dang.
Sorry, I don't remember her name, but her friend was being a lot more realistic about it. Like, oh, she's probably just stressed because of her shrine maiden duties and it's going on. But her male friend Tessie was very adamant about it being a supernatural cause, drawing like ghosts and conspiracy theories from their traditional life that they've learned about.
Honestly, dude, I actually just caught on to that, and he was like drawing that to the comet. He was like, "Dude, the comet, dude, like supernatural stuff happens and stuff like that." You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah,
actually,
so there is a big plot reveal to the comet, like how significant it was. It was after Taki had like the date with Okudera and it didn't go well, and she's like, "Oh, you like someone else." So for some reason, they never show it on camera, but they do have each other's numbers, and he does try and contact her.
And it
But-
falls flat.
Yeah, it falls flat. Like the calls don't go through, the texts don't go through because apparently they've never tried to contact each other before that, but they've had their numbers.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird.
Yeah, it's never shown, but it's not something that they necessarily need to show. It's just strange that they haven't.
yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's not very significant for them
It's
to
not that
show.
big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal, but it does lead into something that is significant, which is when Taki goes to meet Mitsuha in person. He draws out like the entire village that he got from her memory while
That
living in her
guy-
body.
He's crazy at drawing.
Well, he does
he's
have an
crazy good
art
at
class in like 2 different lives and everything. So it does make sense that he would be good at it. It was also shown like he spent hours and hours of like days and nights like sacrificing his sleep schedule to get the picture of this village right.
And
So-
I like how he didn't
Oh, yeah.
realize like the village that it was actually the town that got hit by the meteor. Like he knew about the meteor like in the town, he just didn't correlate even after he switched bodies that this was the town that got hit by the meteor, even when he was transported there. It was until after he met like the ramen guy, he was like, "Oh wait, this is that town."
I mean, yeah,
No one
it's
took about
pretty
ramen guy.
traumatic. You know, oh, dude, ramen guy, dude,
Dude,
he's a
Ramen
god.
Guy was the
Ramen Guy.
MVP of the entire movie.
If ramen guy wasn't there, the movie would not have had its impact.
Yeah. So how the movie goes is Taki tries to find Mitsuha and her like small village by going around the general area he knows where she lives and asking the locals like if they recognize the village by the picture he drew. And it goes through like an entire day cycle with him, his friend, and Okudera. where they just go around asking the locals if they've seen the village that he's drawn, and then it's like not revealed. Like it isn't revealed to him until at the end of the day they stop by for dinner, and then they have ramen guy who, oh no, it's actually his wife, right? They order and the wife sees it.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Yo, can you? Is this that one time?"
Yeah,
And he's like,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that drawing, that's a fantastic drawing of Ito Mori. And then he's like, oh, you know this place. And then that leads to Ramen Guy, who's like, who used to live there, right?
Yeah, he moved out.
He grew up there.
Yeah, it's like, yes, that was like the place where I was born and raised. And then Taki gets like really excited. He starts asking a bunch of questions, and then like the ramen couple are really shocked. He's like, oh, you want to go there because it's been destroyed by the meteor. That's when it's revealed. Like her entire birthplace and her actually are gone and dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. The time aspect I did like. I like time aspects in like media.
That was a crazy plot twist that they threw out.
But it also made it a little confusing for me because, okay, so they showed a scene where Mitsuha, the comet struck and Mitsuha presumably died. They didn't show it hitting at that point, but it showed her point of view. The meteor was coming. She looked up. She was like, "Oh crap, that's about to hit!" And then it cuts to Taki. And then that's when the first like problem in the movie. He's like, I was gonna tell Mitsuha about how the date went, but we never switched back. That's what happened. But after that, he started seeing Mitsuha again, which I was like, okay, is this a different Mitsuha in a different timeline? Because that Mitsuha we saw is dead, presumably.
Yeah, that's the big problem with like time travel in movies. Like you never know what's actually what. Especially with Your Name, because it gets even more confusing. Like after he finds out that Mitsuha and Itomori is gone, he like goes through the memories that he has of being Mitsuha when they were body swapped, and he goes to a little god shrine that he visited in her body, which contains like a rice wine that was made by her.
Yeah, we saw her make it earlier in the movie for them.
Yeah, I forgot the specific name, but it was made in a ritual with their like traditional religion where she takes rice, she chews it up and then spits it back out in the form of like a wine which then like ferments.
Yeah, they let it sit and ferment. And then it becomes a wine, alcoholic beverage. And he drank it, and that's actually what made him switch back in her body. So the wine definitely had big importance.
The wine had a lot of significance.
It was just pretty funny.
I actually really like how grounded in like culture, like Japanese culture, the movie was. You know, it feels very I don't know, like
authentic.
Like I enjoyed learning about that, you know, and I loved how they used tradition and turned it and used it as a plot device to further the story.
Like it always was implied that her religion was always going to be a big part of the movie. It's just the way they did it was really well done because like first like initially you didn't think that all of the body switching was like part of the religion. It's just I guess hinted at that it's just something that happens to them. Like it's not caused by anything. But later on in the movie, it's actually revealed that the family that Mitsuha comes from, the family of like shamans or actually no priests, that's what it was, priests. That the women of the generation have all gone through a phase where they switch bodies with someone else, and it's revealed that her grandma and her mom both went through this phase.
And how her dad just ignores it and says, "Oh, it has to be, you know, one of those family things."
Yeah, it's like the Mitsuha's side. Like even though it's hinted at that he also went through the same experience, It's
Was it?
well, it's
No,
because
I'm
the
sure.
well, didn't the grandma say that both her and Mitsuha's mom went through that phase?
Well, yeah, but
The
that's because
mom's
they're
side. I
part
don't
of
think
the
the dad.
lineage.
Well, I mean,
The
she would still have to
dads, I
switch
don't think
bodies
she
with the
would.
dad, though, right?
I don't think the dad was the one she switched bodies with.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. You guys are so right. Just because they switch bodies doesn't mean they fall in love.
Yeah, that only
Okay.
happens with Taki and Mitsuha.
Okay, yeah, you're so right. Oh my god.
Uh, I mean, it's a possible. It's possible,
It is
but I
possible.
don't think. I think it's unlikely.
Okay,
Like,
that that did
stretch.
confuse me a lot because I totally thought that when the person they switched bodies with was automatically the person they fell in love with. So I was wondering why the dad didn't believe Mitsuha. Was like, you also switch bodies though. You should know.
Yeah, we switch bodies. We're gonna marry and have kids together. That's how
Exactly. Yeah.
it works.
You know, it's anime rules. I don't make them. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. You know.
I love how Taki was smart enough to actually figure it out, you know?
Taki's great. Yeah, he was like,
Taki
I'm
is
gonna go
ironically
visit
super
her.
intelligent.
He's a great drawer. I think he has photographic memory. It's not
No,
said, but I think it's pretty heavily implied he has photographic
yeah,
memory.
he probably has photographic memory because the way he remembered the like his the way he remembered
One
Itamori is
town, the
just
town.
crazy.
He drew it from memory after he stopped switching bodies with Mitsuha.
Wait, no, he
And
did
that,
have reference pictures up, didn't he?
he
That he
did, but
drew?
I think I only saw like the references he used were for mountains.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
only
you're
ones.
right. Yeah, he had
He looked
references
up
for the
references for
mountains.
the mountains, but the rest he drew. That's crazy
Yeah, the
talent.
townscape was all something that he drew himself.
But dude, that
What
movie unexpectedly for my first anime movie.
was it your first? No, we got Spirited Away.
Yeah, no,
One of your
Spirited Away
first.
was the first one, no?
So one of your first, but
Mm-hmm.
For my
maybe
first
more modern
anime
anime.
movie, I just think it was really good. Like,
Yeah, Spirited Away is just not anime.
nope.
No, it doesn't count.
Also, that's fair. I don't know. There's a lot of people that say like Pokemon doesn't count as an anime, which it does, but
No, that's a
that's
whole
different.
different debate
Yeah,
that we
that's
don't
a
want to get
different
into
topic.
right now.
I honestly peak movie. 20 out of
Very
5.
peak
Movie,
movie.
indeed. Is there anything else we can talk about in the movie that we haven't gone over in depth of?
I don't know. Again, I just like it when movies make me feel sad. I just wish the ending was sadder. I don't know.
Oh my god, you're the only person I know who would ever say that.
Yeah, I watched this movie. I'm curling up in a ball cry, but I almost wish it made me sadder in a way.
Yeah, I wanted this movie to just mentally destroy me, honestly.
I just
I
wanted
wanted to
feel
stay in my
good
bed for the
cry.
next week, not moving.
Yeah.
Oh, there was this period. What was it? Half-Light?
Oh, Half-Life
There
2, when
was
they were like
this,
able to
yeah, there's
interact
this
with each
plot
other.
point in the movie where
I
Taki's in
wasn't.
Mitsuha's body and Mitsuha's in Taki's body, and
Yeah.
they're both 3 years apart, but they're in the same place.
Yeah, that part didn't really make sense to me, but I was like, okay, this is cool, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's more supernatural stuff. You suspend your disbelief that they can interact through time.
They're
It was wholesome, so
connected.
I didn't question it.
They're
Exactly.
connected by the braided cord that
Oh,
That
Mitsuha
she
gave
gave
Taki.
him.
Yeah.
Okay, so the visual of that blew me away. I loved that.
They like changed animation styles, and it looked beautiful.
hmm
It was
So
great.
what specifically happened was they were both walking around a lake edge. Like they could hear each other's voices calling out to each other, but
was
they
a
couldn't
TikTok
physically
thing.
see each other. So you can see, like, from their point of views, they hear the voice, but they don't see the person. And when they eventually circle around to each other, they show this little snap animation that's just like half a second long. It's just Mitsuha's hair tie just like wrapping around both their wrists and having them turn around to each other. That one piece of like half-second animation, so little, but it was so clean. It did so much. I love that.
Honestly, like the movie, if you really pay attention, Like it's great, dude. It has so many things that although
Mhm.
some people might not notice, like it's just there. Like the
I
answer's right there.
I do think it's one of those movies. If you go back and rewatch it a bunch, you'll find new things every rewatch that you didn't
Mhm.
notice before.
Absolutely.
It
And
just
we're doing this
shows
right
that.
after we watched the movie, so it's a bit fresh in our minds. Maybe forgetting some stuff, but
It just shows
Hmm.
the attention to detail, man. Like
mhm.
it was just great how much attention they actually paid to making sure that everything is there. Because I picked up on a lot of things, like like him, Tessie being all, "Oh my god, meteor, you act weird. Meet thing happened with meteor."
I do
Why you
think
gotta do Tessie like that,
I
man?
do think that's a compliment to the studio as well. Like if you look at it from the outside, the time, the frames of the comic, it sounds convoluted, but when you watch it, it makes sense. Which it shouldn't if you just read it like online. You'll be like, "What am I
Mhm.
reading?"
Well, you have
But
to think about it for a little bit. It's not something that you can pick up right
mhm.
away, but as you realize it, then you start realizing just like it's really well thought out and it's just like actually easy to follow once you get all the mechanics of it.
Yeah, you're not gonna like fully understand it, but you'll understand it enough to follow along and enjoy the story. If that makes sense.
Oh, also, after the half light scene where they see each other around the lake edge, they like it's still a plot point that the meteor will still kill Mitsuha if they don't stop it in time.
Yeah, I think the last scene it ended on for Mitsuha before they showed the meteor hitting. This is the second time the meteor hit. It actually showed it. It was like her talking to her dad or about to say something
Like
to her dad.
she's about to approach her father, yeah, and then
So
we
it's
didn't
about
see her anymore. They
it's
left
a
it
bit ambiguous
ambiguous.
about what they did, she did with her father. She probably
Hmm.
slapped him, got his mind out of the gutter. He's like, "Listen to me, we gotta get out of here, or we're gonna die." And he was like, "Dang, okay." And then he listened. I don't know
It's
how
like I
that
was
happened.
watching the movie again. Such good narration, Devin.
Thank you. I do get complimented for that. It's one of my strong points.
Man,
So
I
I do want to talk about the plan. Okay, so what they do is they do make a plan for the meteor, but the first half is Taki, who's in Mitsuha's body, who starts making the plan, and then after that, like the magic that lets them switch bodies fully wears off. So the first making the plan was done by Taki, and then actually carrying out the plan was Mitsuha's job. So the plan made by Taki was absolutely insane. They what was it?
He went hard. That's like
They
Aizen
went
level
hard.
planning.
Well, I forget what exactly the plan was, but I do know it involved blowing stuff up and making them criminals.
It involves them blowing up like a power thing.
domestic terrorism.
Always on board for domestic terrorism.
Okay, well, we won't say that on a podcast. But
Mm.
they did blow something up, and it was
Oh, it was like the electricity generator.
yeah. They like cut the power, and they used that as an excuse. Like there's going to be a forest fire. We need to get out of here. They didn't say there was a meteor because that would be too outlandish to believe.
Yeah.
I guess. But after that, that's what led to all the events unfolding.
Like the plan was blowing up the electricity so they could make a forest fire excuse to evacuate people from like the meteor crash area. And it started falling apart halfway through because like the plan involved and only involved three teenagers, and when like the adults started figuring out, there wasn't much they could do to stop it.
It really
Yeah,
wasn't.
it does. I think the end does when the second meteor is coming. It does leave you like, oh, they're not gonna. It's gonna fail again. It's gonna be a tragic story.
Yeah, Manuel's dream almost came through.
It almost came through, but she clutched up off screen,
Mhm.
so it didn't.
It should
But
have.
it-
It should have. It would have made the movie
Oh
millions
my
off that.
god,
the
no.
movie's a 9.9. That would have made it a 10.10. That's all he's saying, basically.
10. Okay.
That's
Actually,
10.10.
dude.
10 out
Never
of 10.
become a movie director, Emmanuel.
Nah, dude. Every single one of my
You would
movies
be
is
the
gonna be
best movie.
tragic, dude.
It's
Oh
gonna
my
make you be like,
god.
oh, they did it. They came through it, and this is gonna end with a bomb, and they just die out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
it's a tragedy.
Like after she survives the meteor, it is they don't show like them meeting right away because that would pay off would be too quick. So they kind of like it's not dragged out because it's part of like the plot that they don't remember. Well, your name.
They remember, but they don't remember.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
like
I forgot the term. It's when you know
Deja vu?
Yeah, deja vu. So so after the time gap and after they survive the meteor, they forget each other's names, but they know they met somebody. So they have constant deja vu for 3 years about knowing there's someone like they have someone that's precious to them. They don't know who it is and they don't know why they're precious. Which just hurts to watch because the viewer knows, but they don't know.
Mhm.
So you're constantly like yelling at the screen, anxious in your head, like, please, I want to see it happen. Realize.
The movie does make you invested, I will say.
You get so invested in the characters and the plot. It's such a great movie. I love it.
Dude, just that section. Look, I know like I wanted a bad ending and all that, but that section just made me so goddamn angsty, dude, or like antsy. Like I just why couldn't they just give it to me? But like I mean I love the payoff, but
Give it to me.
I wanted it, dude. I wanted it so bad.
Yeah. There was a period where they went and like they saw each other and they knew it was them. Like that's the person who's dear to me. I feel it. Like but it was a subway scene. Like they were on different subways to different destinations. So they see each other and then it's like for a second and they know, like you can see it in their eyes, they know that's the person. And then the movie spends like another 5 minutes of just like please, like you want it to happen.
And they're taking their
what-
sweet time with it, toying with us, the viewer.
They like hang it in front of the viewer so much. Like it starts off with just them like running around. You can see like how urgent the movement is on for both of them. Like you can see they desperately want to find the other person. But like the directors just didn't let it happen easy, man. I don't have words for it because I'm remembering the emotions and I'm so mad.
Dude, the movie made me so upset during that, I cannot lie. I just wanted payoff. I wanted payoff. I mean, it paid off, yeah. But
It did pay
I
off
wanted it quicker.
because they did the classic movie trope where they end the movie with the name of the movie, and I couldn't ask for more.
That was peak. This is
It
truly
was
your
peak.
name.
Oh my god, can I ask your name? And no words have ever went harder than that.
Ah, man. This is peak your name. Ah, good movie. Good movie out of 10. Again.
Oh, our ratings. Hello? Have we given our
my
ratings
fault.
yet?
No, we have not. Mine is a 9 out of 10.
A 9 out of 10. See, you rated this higher than Spirited Away, and I'm not sure how to feel about that.
I did enjoy this movie more than Spirited Away. I'm a sucker for time-based like tropes in movies.
All right, Emmanuel, let's hear it. Let's
I
hear
think
it.
we're all just a sucker for nice romance movies, dude. And that warms
Okay.
my heart. I cannot lie.
I
Okay,
do love me a sweet
there
romance.
is a little bit of bias here, but I swear to God, we don't have bad taste.
Well, I guess that's What's the word?
I did get Devin a lot of shit for it, but I would rate this movie a 9 as well.
Yeah.
It's about as good as Spirited Away for me. The animation was definitely better, but I just really like Spirited Away's story a lot more.
That's fair.
Which is a crazy thing to say now that I said it out loud.
Yeah, but it's fair. I can understand it.
It's not an unfounded claim, but it's just something that like it doesn't set in until you actually say it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't. Man, that movie left me so. I can't lie. The ending left me a little empty. Like but I also love that, dude. Like I know I'm being a little edgelord and all that, but it's just like it was good. All right, and although I did want it to be sadder, it was great, man. Like I enjoyed the ending. It was just good. That's kind of all I have to say. I give it a 25 out of 2.
25 out of 2. Amazing
Crazy.
score. Well, I think it's obvious that we did like this movie. And I think that's it for episode 4. Your Name. I think, is this our final movie or are we doing one more? What do you guys think?
You guys
we
want to
got
fit in one more?
We got one more left in us right
One
here.
more left in us? Yeah.
Final episode of Mogul Movies coming to
Let's
you.
see, it's either going to be Puss in Boots or Blade Runner. But yeah, next week.
Or
next episode. Thanks
special
for
one.
Yes.
You never know.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time, guys. Okay. Well, I really enjoyed that movie, you know? That was a pretty good movie.